Shalom. Call hello Yahweh by Shem Awashai, by Hashem Wakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. Doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Aquath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And the name of this video is going to be Starlink, huh? Nah, bruh. One Starlink. Those were chariots we saw. And I'm going to present biblical and physical evidence. All right? Right here in this video. But yeah, that was a response or a comment on a comment board of the last couple videos that I did about the chariots over the weekend on the day of the Pentecostal feast. And hold on, let me pull them up. Salakia. Yeah, it was called, and it was a response to Barra's video. The chariots are on standby, we close. And so I did a response to it, and actually two, because they cut off the video on one. And man, the Most High, man, Yahweh is amazing, man, because I had, three women with children, nice and quiet and peaceful. To my left, he got rid of them. There was a guy sitting right in front of me in the camera frame, got rid of him. Now if he can just get rid of these because the niggas to the right of me with their weed smoking and they loud, they came over here and disturbed the peace. Maybe their ignorance was driving everybody away. They so loud, man. There's one client walking around talking to himself. I guess they just put up with him because even they looking at him like he crazy. But nevertheless, back into the lesson. This statement, there was one person that put a statement on one because there's two videos. Yeah, the chariots are on response. The chariots are on standby. We close, and then part two was the final. And on both videos, there was a reference to Star Link, and which is a string of satellites. Well, Esau don't have that many satellites. This was close to 1,000 chariots in a straight line. So I know that there wasn't no linked together chariots. Damn, now I can't remember the name of the damn things. Satellites that were linked together, damn near 1,000 of them all linked together. No, that's not the case. All right, but let me grab a quick scripture. That first scripture is going to be the book of Psalms. (104) and start at verse 1, and it says, "Bless, O Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh my God, thou art very great, thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with a light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain." So, Esau has admitted that with his science, with his studying of the heavens, that it's like the heaven continues to grow, which is why they'll never be able to explore it. They can't even fully explore the earth. There are places on earth they cannot and can't go to. The sea is one of them. All right? There's certain parts of the sea that are just too deep, and we don't have the technology to go that deep. They don't have that kind of technology, man. But verse 2, who covers thyself, Salakia, verse 3, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels his spirits, his ministers of flaming fire. So these things appear in the heaven, they walk through the clouds and among the clouds, and sometimes they light up like fire. You have to think about ancient men trying to explain what we're seeing today in the language and terminology that they used back then. All right. Plus the evidences in different pictures and from the medieval time, even going back to the time of the pyramids, they were showing you these chariots on the pyramids that they were flying around. You know, and how many sci-fi movies does Esau make where he shows you ancient aliens appearing to Egypt and to people, you know, as if all the technology that came in those dark nations in North Africa came from alien tech. And then and plus they'll make the people in the movies Caucasian on top of that to make matters even worse. Plus the beings on the ships, you know, as they appear and bring technology and all this other. And there's a movie coming out right now with Angelina Jolie, and I can't remember the name of it, but basically they're walking as humans among humans, giving them understanding, and they never intervene until now. All that kind of garbage, man. Because Esau doesn't want to give credit to the dark nations of people that they were wise and had languages and technology before them, because they pushed the lie that all civilization started with Greece, which was a lie, a complete and total lie. They're not even the real Greeks, but that's another lesson. All right. And these chariots are going to be a curse, because they're coming to deliver the elect, but destroy Babylon and all of the 2/3 and basically put all kingdoms under subjection. That's their mission. That is what they're here for. Right now, they're just on recon. They're observing and watching until the Lord gives them the green light to make moves, and that time is getting close, man. All right, this is Zechariah 5:2, and it says, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, This is a curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." So, you know, who's the biggest thief? He said he's going to enter into the house of the thief. That's Esau, Edom. Every place where they dwell, they've stolen. All right, every place where the so-called white man, Esau, Edom is, they stole that land. And then they set up governments. That's why my next lesson is going to be about critical race theory and how they're coming, you know, because what they don't want the facts and real history being brought out about their wickedness. That's really what that's all about. They want you to overstep and forget all the things that they did, but yet they don't want to forget anything that was done, even their false history, you know, that they used to change policy with. You know, they didn't want to forgive and forget 9/11. They don't want to forgive and forget the Holocaust. They don't want to forgive and forget anything. But yet, you know, I heard a lady say, you know, and I'll probably use a part of that video in the near future, but I heard her say it would be, when it comes to the things that happen to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in America, all right, she said it would be the equivalent of a child that was molested, all right, or let's say a woman was raped, but it happened 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and how those scars could still mess up her life and her or the child's everyday dealing with life or dealing with people, make them not really function in society well because of the mental anguish. But yet, you know, nobody's saying, hey, forget about that. Or why you got to pull the rape card? You know, that was so long ago. You know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that kind of mess, man. And see, they hate it when the evidence is presented that proves their lies, because it's just a time. Habakkuk 2:16 said there shall be shameful spewing upon their glory. All right, some Starlink, and then they screwed themselves up going back to the satellites that they're trying to say this was Starlink. That which is a complete and total lie, but even with the Van Allen belt disproves other lies that they've made up, because they have ran a whole program on what was the BBC or one of those science programs on how they're trying to work on technology to get human beings through the Van Allen belt. But hold on, wait a minute, you went to the moon. The moon is on the other side of the Van Allen belt. You see how they tongue fall upon themselves? These are some lying pieces of shit. Esau is a liar, just a fucking liar, man. Excuse my German. All right, because the Van Allen, that's the physical evidence, that documentary, and all the ones that, and just look up anything on the Van Allen belt, and that destroys that destroys the lie that they went to the moon, because they've already admitted that human beings can't go through the Van Allen belt. It's too heavily radiated. All right. And you think that they're gonna create a vessel that could get a human being through it way back then with all this better technology and lighter metals and everything else? They can't do it now. Get the hell out of here, man. You know, and just like with everything else is going on in the world, they're using science to push lies, to dupe the people, and then try to stand on unproven theories, not science, because science means to know. All right, but this is 1 Timothy 6:20, and it reads, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, and avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called." So they're always having some lying doctor, some lying scientist come forth and give some false evidence and false statements to try to justify their agenda and the things that they're doing. All right. Okay. Now some more hardcore evidence that this thing wasn't the final evidence that this thing wasn't Starlink. Is a simple fact that we were on the phone with, as we were witnessing almost 1,000 chariots, hundreds and hundreds of them, man, hundreds and hundreds of them. All right, appear out of nowhere and then disappear on the other end, and then the other two chariots that weren't in line with them. It's like they were coordinating the whole thing. But why are we on the phone with the men in Kansas City who were seeing the same thing at the same time that we were? So it's no way that there was no fucking Starlink. And those videos and those telephone calls are the physical evidence of it. And other people reported seeing it in their state too, all at the same time, man. So that kills that whole Starlink lie. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh by Hashem now Shai, by Hashem, Wakak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala.